Good evening, folks. This is Pamela checking in real quick before going to bed tonight. I hope you all are having a terrific evening. I thought I'd get on here and update you on a few things. First, I want to talk about Donald Trump and what's happened tonight. Not to say that I'm sad about it, but I think Donald Trump got a heavy dose of reality this evening. Hey, how you doing? Did you see the news about what happened to Donald Trump? I think he got hurt out there in PA tonight. He's got blood all over his ear. Somebody may have shot at him. Well, he just got a daily dose of reality to all the Trumpians. He got a big dose of reality that anybody in public service, anybody in the world, period, is not immune to gun violence. And he just witnessed it firsthand, motherfucker. He just witnessed it firsthand. Trust me. I couldn't be more, I wouldn't say happy about it, but he just got it pushed in his face. Yeah. And I heard about Richard Simmons dying and Shelley Duvall. Now, I'm not a fan of Shelley Duvall. I'm not a fan of Richard Simmons. And I'm certainly not a fan of Donald Trump. Okay? Well, I'm sorry Shelley Duvall died. And who knows what happened with Richard Simmons. I just want to move on from that. I hope they found peace on the other side, at least Richard Simmons anyway. And Shelley Duvall anyway. But Donald Trump is what I want to talk about most tonight. A lot of people want to shit on the Democrats for being on the left, as it were. They claim that we are the bad people. No. No. You always say guns don't kill people, people kill people. Nut jobs with guns kill people. And he just got a daily dose of that. Can you imagine being in Secret Service or the FBI? How they would have to wear bullet-piercing, protective armor for their job? Think about what the police do. They have to deal with that almost every day. They leave their homes, they kiss their families goodbye, and hope that they get to come home at night. But yeah, I heard that Donald Trump got shot at a rally, I think. It popped up on Facebook, of all places. Donald Trump bloodied after security incident in Pennsylvania. And this came off of KTLA 5 News. Go to KTLA 5 News on Facebook. I'm not going to read any articles. But yeah, let's look back at the history of people dying by guns. Hey, Cartoons Rock. What's going on? Did you hear that Donald Trump may have got shot at and got his ear grazed tonight? Oh, yeah. Yep. He just got a daily dose of reality that most public officials have to fear. Think about what Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi must have felt on January 6th. They want to bitch and complain that Donald Trump is being silenced by the Democrats. No, I think Donald Trump is doing that himself. People are starting to see what a piece of dog meat Donald Trump really is. Well, happy birthday! Hope you had a good birthday, Cartoons Rock. Me, I've been kind of laying low and taking care of myself lately. I'm trying to get a ramp put on my house and handle myself as long as we still have freedom in this country. But if Donald Trump gets reelected and wants to take away my rights as a woman and take away environmental protections and all that junk, there's no way in hell I'm voting for Trump. And they want to silence Joe Biden for his little slip-ups at the debate. I don't watch none of that. And I'm doing less of these logs due to keeping my health good. And so far, my health is doing pretty good. I may have some abnormalities in my blood test, but I don't know. I don't either, but you know what? I'm still not voting for Trump. I will vote for things that matter to this planet, like environmental protections. I want to keep those. We only have one planet. We need to start taking care of it. And I'm definitely fighting for not just my rights, but for the rights of my niece and anybody else who needs their rights protected. They're even talking about taking away gay rights. No, that's not going to work with me. But Donald Trump basically got his ass handed to him tonight. He had a close call with death. And I hate to tell him, but yeah, anybody that's in a line of public service, whether you're in government or a musician or a movie actor, you can still die at the hands of a gun. Yeah, I know. You don't, and they're even trying to take away rights for transgender people. It's like they've been doing it for many, many years. They've been trying to take away many rights for disabled people. People with non-binary stuff and even black people are being sidelined by Donald Trump. I remember all the things that Donald Trump has said. Look at my African American over here. That African American has a name. And I talked about the Chinese Americans that live here that had been sucker punched and beat down because of Trump's rhetoric. Remember that. And let's not forget, people like John Lennon have died at the hands of a gun. The one young girl from the show My Sister Sam was murdered by her so-called admirer at her own front door. And she kept screaming at her shooter, why? Why did you shoot me? That's why they have anti-stalking and protection laws. They don't allow stars to write from their home address. So if you get something from a particular actor, they don't put their addresses on the envelopes. It's for their own safety. And John Lennon. Who remembers John Lennon? One of the biggest guys from the Beatles. He said the Beatles were the best group in the goddamn world. The best fucking group in the whole goddamn world. Talked about peace and love and having the bed-ins and helping people who were hungry in Ascot, England, where he lived. He came to New York in search of a good life for his wife and youngest son. He was making progress in getting his relationship with Julian healed when he was tragically murdered outside the Dakota in 1980. I was 9 years old when that happened. I didn't get how big John Lennon was, but when he lived in New York, it was like another version of Liverpool for him. And he would go out and he would be able to mingle with people. Nobody hassled him. But this one guy came over from Hawaii and thought it would be good to kill John Lennon. And let's not forget President John F. Kennedy, who was trying to do good things for this country. Went down to Dallas. Didn't want the bubble top on top of the car because he wanted the people to see him. And he wound up getting a bullet right through the throat and once in the head. So, yeah, Donald Trump got a serious dose of reality. That's what happens to public faces. It's not unexpected in America. I said, no, he's like every other sucker who gets shot on the streets of our country. Yeah, I don't post here much anymore either. I don't post on this platform much anymore because of all the restrictions and all the crap that goes on. COPPA, I don't want to get started on that. And they cut down on the cursing, but you know what? When I get on my platform, I talk real. I talk real about a lot of things, and with what's going on in the news lately, I don't go out unless I go to a doctor's appointment. I got a pixie cut last week. I got my blood drawn yesterday or the day before. Went to the doctor, and most of my tests came back good. I don't have to go back to my doctor for 6 months. But since I'm having a harder time getting out of my house, I may have a nurse come here to collect my urine sample for my doctor's appointment. So I'll have to set up a date for that. And I'm still waiting on my Kenny Rogers DVD of that concert. It might be slightly edited for PBS release, but there's something going on with that. I ordered that DVD, CD, record, and cards. I got the CD and the record and the cards, but no DVDs. So I don't know what's going on with that crap. So I had my identity stolen the last couple of months, twice. And I'm not renewing my PBS payment until I get that DVD because my donation in total for all that is $230. I owe them like $50. And I told them at PBS that unless I get my DVD that I had sent the donation in for, you could just forget the last $50. Yeah, I'm tired of getting taken for a ride on some shit. But let's get back to Trump for a minute. Yeah, Trump got a big dose of reality today. At first, I thought it was another gag. You know how Facebook is good at misinformation and all that crap? And what's that other social that Trump has? I'm sure they're going to have a field day over there, whoever's there. So, yeah. But Donald Trump, you're not immune to gun violence. Nobody is. I hear about gun violence in my city every day. In fact, one time my brothers were standing right outside my house here, and they wound up hearing gunshots and having to duck for cover. Yeah. So, it's just crazy. The world's gone crazy. Kids getting shot. One girl went to a mall somewhere out west, got caught in the middle of somebody's bullshit. I think she was like 13 or 14, and she wound up getting shot dead. Yeah. Not fun. So now Trump is just like every other Joe Blow motherfucker out there that ends up getting shot at or shot, period. He's just lucky he didn't end up like Kennedy. And like I said before I logged off of Facebook, I said maybe now feeling the burn of a bullet or feeling the fear of having a bullet put in you, it might make him a better man. But I don't know. And the reason why I say that before I get lambasted, let's remember back to January 6th, shall we? People wanted to go to the Capitol, not to hear Trump speak. Oh no. They wanted to go in there and help proceedings against the election for 2020. But they wanted to go in there, not only put a gallows outside of our Capitol, they wanted to go in there, find Nancy Pelosi, and put a bullet in her head. That's not fair, is it? They're saying on certain platforms on Facebook that doing Trump like this is the only way Democrats can win. No. It's just the reality of being a public official. Not everybody's going to like everybody, okay? It goes with the job. That's why they have Secret Service. So something like that doesn't happen. Maybe now his buddies will really consider having gun control. But I don't know. You can't reason with a cancer cell. That's what I think of the Republicans. They don't see the wrong they do. They see the wrong that everybody else does. They don't talk about the brain farts that Mitch the Bitch McConnell has, or some of the brain farts that Donald Trump has had. So don't give me that crap. I wasn't born yesterday. I may have been born 53 years ago, but I was not born yesterday, and I'm not stupid. I may be a woman. I used to have blood coming out of my wherever. Remember that? And I guess he won't be talking so loud about shooting somebody on Fifth Avenue now, would he? No. Oh. You like the big comfy couch, huh? Well, if you watch Follow That Bird, the Sesame Street movie, the little girl Ruthie is the hostess of that show, I think. Yeah. I don't know who she is, but she sang Easy Going Day in that movie. Yeah, she would go on to be the hostess of the big comfy couch. Yeah. But yeah, I've been kind of handling my own crap. I got to go get my toenails clipped at the podiatrist this week, so other than that, I'm not doing much of nothing, just staying home and paying bills. So, yeah. I'm getting rid of my cable box here before too long. It's like $260 something just for basic cable. Not going to do that. I'll keep the internet, but I'm going to go through things like Hulu and Disney Plus and all that. But yeah, the inflation is really killing me because I used to be able to buy a sack of groceries and have plenty of food for at least 3 weeks for $50 at Kroger. Now it's like $130 something to go to the grocery store. So yeah, I've just been kind of keeping things quiet here and staying away from all the political crap, and it looks like it's done my blood pressure some good because the doctor said my blood pressure was good and that I've been on my medications and just need to take care of a few little things here and there. I just hope I have nothing going on inside my blood system to have any abnormal readings, but I won't know until the doctor looks at it. So, yeah. My doctor's office moved to a brand new location, and it's a big building, man. But at least I can get into a sitting room, where they examine you without bumping into stuff. So, yeah. It's a nice new building. They moved in, I think, last month. Yeah. So I'll probably have a nurse come out and get my urine sample for my wellness check. I already did the memory thing for this year, so yeah. I think 2 of the 3 words that they gave me were baby and kitchen. So yeah. So interesting time I've had lately, really. But yeah, I heard that Martin Mull passed away. I remember him from Mr. Mom, mostly. But I know he had a show called Fernwood Tonight back in the early days of, say, Nick at Night. Yeah. He died at 80. Richard Simmons died today, and somebody else died today, too. I think it was Dr. Ruth Westheimer. She always talked about, I think she was like a sex therapist or something, but she died at 96. Wow. That's kind of hard to believe. Yeah. But yeah, I've been kind of reading the headlines. I'm sure a lot of people are going to shit on Democrats now. God, I get tired of these Trumpers. I mean, it really just upsets me, you know? Donald Trump is a hot mess. There's no denying that. But people are just sick of him, you know? He's skated so much on shit, you know? But it's just the way it is. Um, I've been kind of laying low here the last couple days, just doing my own thing and just keeping cool. It's supposed to be really hot this week, so yeah, I probably won't be on the computer very much. We've had a few power glitches here. We had one here this morning that not only shut down my clock in here, but it shut down the clock on my oven. So, yeah, I had to reset the clocks today. So I think our power grid is gearing up for the big heat wave this week. And I think it might have rained a little while ago, but I don't know. I heard something that sounded like hail, but they kept saying no rain tonight, no rain tonight, and yet I heard a little bit of rain tonight. So I don't think the weathermen know what they're doing anymore. So yeah, but yeah, I hope you guys watched the Kenny Rogers concert that I posted on the channel here. I know Kenny Rogers' manager has a lower quality version for videotape up on his channel, but I went and hunted around on the internet and found a higher quality edition of that. So, yeah, I figured nobody should have to go to PBS on their website if you can get it to play and watch it. I'd like to have it on DVD, but I don't know if it's coming or not, and I'm not holding my breath anymore. So, they're not getting any more of my fucking money, that's for sure. But anybody else have any news? I know one of the guys that works for the Chipmunks has done a little action on his Facebook talking about an article he found or a listing from a TV guide for the Rockin' Through the Decades Chipmunks special. And he posted a little bit about Shelley Duvall having a part where she was trying to sing like one of the chipmunks. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I tried to watch the newer show and I just can't. I just can't. I think they did a remake of My Fair Chipette. Yeah, that was weird, where they had to kind of work together to be a part of this talent show. But yeah, it's not the same. I tried to watch it out at my sister's during July 4th, while everybody else was sitting out in little tents in the yard. I was sitting on the deck with the fan running and watching TV. And I watched all the Beverly Hills Cop movies that Netflix had before the Axel F movie came out. So then I had to flip over to something cartoony because my autistic niece came out. I tried to sit through the Chipmunks because I couldn't find Dora for her. And I was like, what the hell am I watching? It's like I could feel my brain burning. It was so bad. And Janice Carmen is usually a very good writer. But the new show just doesn't have that spark to it anymore. And the people look so plastic and fake, it's not even funny. Yeah. If I want to watch something good, I'll watch Scooby Doo and Guess Who. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to have any more seasons of that, but I really don't care. I have Paramount Plus because there's some things I like to watch on there, but I got Netflix for now. I saw the new Axel F movie. Oh, it did. Wow. Well, I've been going through some of my record collection. I found my Chipmunks A Go Go, the original, the old one, the original one, not the abridged version with the blue background with the chipmunks, but the original from the '60s. I found one of my copies that was open in here. I took it out, made sure there wasn't any deep scratches, washed it, rinsed it off with some cool water, dried it, and it plays almost like a new record. Yeah, I do too. Was never able to find another DVD of that, but I'm not worried about it. I have my records, that's all I need. You know? It's just like I want to see things get re released to vinyl format. That's the best way to listen to them. It makes you want to listen to the whole record, not just skip over tracks on a little mini disc. Yeah. But with the way things are going, most things are going by, leaving no carbon footprint to mess up the planet. Just stream everything, but people are still fighting for physical media, and maybe we should be fighting for physical media, because if your cable goes out, what good is it? If your power goes out, what good is it? You could have something on backup, on disk. You could barely get any Judge Judy on streaming platforms unless you want to watch that new Judge Judy show for Netflix or whatever. Nope. I'd rather sit and watch old episodes of Judge Alex. Yep. The Land Before Time. And I know they did some American Tail also. Yeah. And I said I was lucky to snag the Chipette Diaries when it popped up on Amazon fast, because I knew with the way Bagdasarian's been with the properties and being so stingy about it. Baggy, are you listening? You're being stingy with the chipmunk properties. One of the, for those that are watching this, one of the compilation discs called the Chipette Diaries has a bunch of the older cartoons from Ruby Spears' era. Yeah. Yeah, I heard they're selling the chipmunks. Maybe they'll sell them to somebody better that will get the albums out. I mean, what good are reference copies when people want to hear those older records? What good are old copies of the cartoons when we can't get them aired? Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. And I've told the guy that worked for the Chipmunks, his name is Tom Watkins. He was the ice cream guy, where he walks out of the ice cream shop when Theodore does his Little Richard impression in the Rockin' Through the Decades. And I said, I lost all my videotapes when my basement flooded of the Chipmunks, but I still have a lot of their records. But I said, I want to be able to get some of them on 180 gram vinyl, because I know some of them may have been damaged during the flood. But I don't know, because I can't get down in my basement anymore. Disability. Yeah. Too bad he doesn't take the words of his own little protege, Alvin. Give the people what they want and they'll respond. And what we want is On one point, I want justice for what Donald Trump has done. And number two, I want to see the Chipmunks released with all original music as it was, as we remember it on Saturday morning television. Even the Alvin Show would be a pip to have back on TV. Nickelodeon took it and ran with it for a number of years, so why not? And I know there's a book about Bagdasarian and the Chipmunks, but I don't have the money right there. So I agree with you. Go big or go home. That's how I feel. Yep. And I want to talk about this new Axel F movie for a minute. It's a Netflix movie that was just recently released. I saw it. It didn't have the singing pizzazz that the first two films had. You know, Axel Foley was always cooking with something in his mind, whether it was dealing with Lutz, the shit for brains politician, so-called police chief. We're dealing with the old police chief in the first one. You know, the guy who said, "Is this the man who ruined the buffet at the Hero Club this morning?" He always had a knack for doing zingers. And Eddie Murphy would do lines like, "Is this the man who ruined the buffet at the Hero Club this morning?" And one of them says, "Keep your voice down, for Christ's sake." He says, "What, can the guy hear me through the wall?" And they all say, "Yes, he can." That was fun. This current edition is kind of like showing Axel and Rosewood and Taggart at an older age. We learned some things about Axel that we might not have heard about in 40 years, you know? They all started out young. Of course, Billy and Taggart are older. Taggart's at least in his 70s. I worry about John Ashton and his health. He doesn't look well. And Judge Reinhold still looks pretty good for being in his mid-60s. And Axel is, well, Axel. He looks a little heavier in the face, but he doesn't really seem to age much. And we have Serge, or Serge, as Axel liked to call him. He's now a white-haired gay man in the show, and he tries to help out Axel in the case because Rosewood goes missing, and it's up to Axel to find out what happened and maybe save him and whoever else is involved, you know, and get whoever else is involved in what happened. Yeah, I haven't been too active on Instagram lately, but I'm going to have to get back into that. A lot of people are wanting more Sesame Street content, but I won't upload it here because I know COPPA will probably try and get their mitts on it. I'm tired of that. I'm getting too old for that. You know, I'm getting too old to fight their stupid COPPA guidelines, you know, and I want to be able to keep my commentary open on other channels. I mean, it's just bull crap. You know, but things have gone downhill in terms of this country, in terms of people in general, and it just makes me sad. People killing each other over what? Looking at each other wrong? Are you kidding me? And I heard about a father who killed a member of his family, you know, all the members of his family but one. A 1-year-old baby survived. Yeah, it's crazy. And like I said, the gun-toting freaks that don't want gun control, maybe now after seeing what happened to Donald John Trump, maybe they'll think twice. Maybe they'll think twice. You know, and people call me a pussy because I don't have a gun, and I don't want a gun. They cause more problems than they solve. You know, a lot of high-powered weapons that these people want, they don't belong on everyday streets. They belong in places of war. If we have to go to war to keep our country safe, then that's where the guns belong. And when you leave the branch of the military that you're involved in, you don't take any of those weapons with you. You take the Purple Heart or whatever you get and you go home. And I heard about the young boy from Alf. I don't know if you were a fan of the show Alf. Oh, Northern Calloway? Yeah, I heard about him. He went nuts. And that's sad. That's what I mean. They talk about mental illness. We talk about mental defects or disease. We hear about what happened with Mitch, right? Mitch McConnell, how he froze. And now the Republicans are having a field day with Joe Biden, having some problems. I heard about the debates. I didn't watch the fucking debates. I'd rather keep a good early bedtime and keep a roof over my head and keep my blood pressure down than listen to a bunch of old men bicker and fight against each other. Biden knows what's right for this country, and it's not kissing ass to Putin either. And I told people on Facebook today, not everybody's going to like him. Somebody is going to get this guy. If he doesn't go to jail, somebody on the outside will get Donald Trump. It's just a matter of time in America. We have the most guns. Other countries don't have half the problems that we do. But Donald Trump got a heavy dose of reality tonight. But yeah, I know. I've heard about Northern Calloway. I heard what happened to him. He had a mental issue. He had gone into treatment a couple of times. And the last time he went in, he didn't come out. He died in their custody, in their care. It's sad. It happened. And that's why, he wasn't in the Sesame Street movie because he was dealing with his mental issues. So, yeah, that's why you had Bob heading up the search team to bring Big Bird back to Sesame Street. Yeah. And, it's sad. A lot of people that have mental illness, they see things a little differently, Look at Trump. He's had everything handed to him his whole life. He doesn't see what damage he's done to this country. He doesn't see the harm that his followers are doing to this beautiful country. Remember, January 6th, a lot of his creeps went in there to tear up the rotunda and wipe their feces and pee everywhere and broke a memorial place for Herman Cain. And somebody took the lectern from one of the spaces in there. And let's see, Brian Sicknick died when somebody threw a fire extinguisher at his fucking head. And one guy tried to tell his wife, don't go to the Capitol. You'll end up getting hurt or killed. She tried to go into the main rotunda, and the Secret Service did their job, and they had to shoot. And the other guy got his hand caught in the door. Remember that? He had a heart attack. He had a minor heart attack. And I heard some of the security guys may have committed suicide. Maybe because they felt they didn't have, they didn't do their job right. I don't know. I still don't know about that. But remember, Biden told Donald Trump to get his butt on TV to call off his minions, and he never did. They have phone calls where he said, well, I guess Pence deserves what he gets. I never forget. Never. I'll never forgive Trump for that. And if I had to vote for anybody, I'd vote for Axel Foley or Darkwing Duck before I would ever vote for Donald Trump. If anybody doesn't know the meaning of honor and justice in this country, it's Donald Trump. He's never had to go to war. He's had everything handed to him. He's lived in a bubble his whole life. And he has an unhealthy obsession with Vladimir Putin and other mass killers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Toon Disney. That's where we could only see Bonkers at one point in time. It had all the great cartoons from Disney's archives. Yep, that went belly up. And then you had Disney XD, Disney Junior, and now we got Disney Plus. Yep. Disney Movie Club has gone away, so yeah. I got to finish paying them off. I owe like about $80. But like I said, I'm trying to keep my house running and get groceries in the house. That can be difficult. Especially when to get a ramp put on my house, it's like $7,000. And my insurance won't cover that. But I'm trying to get some help. My sister's got somebody working on that, so yeah. Crossing fingers and hoping for luck. And if I don't get help, I'm really fucked. So, yeah. Because now I can't get back in my house if I go out. Because the ramp that my brother got me, it's an aluminum ramp, but it just makes me feel like I'm going to either face plant forward or my wheelie walker is going to wheel out from underneath the front of me. Like, whoop, and I go flat on my chest. I can't do that. So I either have to scoot in or sit on the floor. So, yeah, I know. It's been going to hell in a handbasket for many, many years. And it's not necessarily Biden's fault, but I think part of it is the way people are being raised. The level of entitlement by some Karens is just ridiculous. I think about Boohoo Karen at the airport in Texas. Who saw the guy chokehold me to the ground, she says. And she had 2 margaritas, if not more than that, at a pizza place. And they were trying to calm her down, but everything they tried, she resisted. They got her over to the water fountain. She drank some water, and she said, "Shame on all of you. This country is going to the dogs. No one will stand up for anyone." And I'm sitting there thinking, nobody will help a crazy woman going ballistic over nothing. Your group wasn't allowed to board the airplane yet. You go on in a particular groups. I have never flown before. I don't know how it works. But they said your group isn't ready to board yet. You gotta wait. And a guy pushed her back from the door as she tried to bust through. And she raised a whole bunch of shit, and they wound up wheeling her fat ass out in a wheelchair from the airport out to the car. And she called the lady cop that was very nice to her, by the way, a two-faced bitch, and said, "I thought you were going to help me. These cops are not doing their job." She'd yell out, "Somebody film this." You know how Karens are. And when they had to get her in the car by lifting her ass up and lifting her into the car. And she says, "I hope you guys are happy. My aunt deserved better than this," because apparently she was on her way to her great aunt's funeral. And she says, "I'm trying to get my way through this goddamn airport," and blah, blah, blah. And when they got her in the cop car, it got worse from there because she used the N-word on the black cop, who was a nice young man, and the white gentleman. He called one of them a black N and the other one a white N, because that's all you are, And she says the anniversary. She said something about the anniversary of George Floyd's untimely death, and she says he died by one of your fucking assholes. You got nothing to say about that, you black officer. And he was nothing more than just letting her run off at the mouth. But then he says something to the effect, "This is what I get for serving the country." And I felt so bad for him. I appreciate all our servicemen that serve our country. They do it without question. They put their ass on the line for this country. Something Trump would never learn about. Trump had everything handed to him. And if there's anything smart to come out of all this Trump business, is that Barron Trump wants nothing to do with the political arena. Smart young man. Smart young man. Quiet, unassuming, and very smart. I think he's taking a tip from Mary Trump. Don't get into the political arena. It's a mess. It'll age you quickly. Look what it did to Barack Obama. He went in with dark hair and he came out looking white as snow when he finished his presidency. But again, before I log off tonight, Trump got his big dose of reality, right? Full frontal center. But then again, the Republicans will probably blame the Democrats. But it's part of the game of being a public official, or any official on the street, any person on the street. You could get killed for just so much as looking at somebody. So, yeah. Sure, maybe if he wasn't such a jerk, he wouldn't have been shot at. Nobody did anything when he was talking all this China virus stuff and having people go out and beat up on innocent people from other countries. I remember hearing about a woman on her way to church getting sucker punched by some dude on the street, all because she was Chinese American. And they talked to one lady that was, I guess, in California, in San Francisco, whose sister had to translate for her. And she said, "Now I'm afraid to go out my door because I'm afraid somebody might hurt me again. All because I'm Chinese American. I came over here for a good life and I get beat up." On the words of one man. He's the one that made up the kung flu type shit. That doesn't work well. He doesn't see the wrong that he's done, and he never will. But Donald Trump, you just got your head handed to you tonight. You got a daily dose of reality. Think about all the police officers that go out there and do their jobs. Some get shot. Some don't come home. They just had a funeral for a cop, I think, here either today or the other day. So, yeah, it goes with the job of being a civil servant. And if you're a kid, it's even worse, because kids are getting younger and younger and they're getting into guns. And it makes me sad. They go to places like malls and schools and they make a big stink. One 13-year-old was recently killed because of that. She was at the mall shopping, having a good day. And this was just before July 4th. And she got shot in the middle of somebody else's bull crap. Are you kidding me? Maybe now the Trump supporters will take a look at gun control laws. But then again, I don't think they'll learn. I'm just a lowly Democrat that actually cares about the safety of its people. But we don't need high-powered weapons on our streets, and we certainly don't need them in the hands of crazies. Kind of like some of these incels that have been known to deal with guns. Elliot Rodger and the other guy from Bivvick Drive over in Scotland. Yeah, he got a gun, had a fascination with them, wanted to come over to the U.S. and open a gun range, but he would later use his gun permit to kill his mother, kill a neighbor and his little girl that he had recently adopted, and killed an older lady at a hair salon, and another one was killed walking his dogs. I think the guy's name was Jake Davidson. You could look that up. Jake Davidson didn't claim to be an incel, but he was visiting incel websites, having hatred against women, and going out in public and beating up on certain people, and going back to his house. Oh, incels are what they call involuntary celibates. They think their view is always right about women. They think that women should serve them, and it's very rare that women are called incels. There are people that think, oh, this certain sex needs to bow down and do whatever I tell them to do. If I want sex, they'll give me sex. I have to have them bend down and suck my tiny wee wee, or do this or do that. But a lot of them don't have the courage to even walk up to somebody and start a conversation and act reasonably normal. But if you give off a creepy vibe, nobody's going to respond. That's what happened to Elliot Rodger. That is a classic case. And when this Jake Davidson did the ultimate to a young girl, there were some that said what he did was wrong, but there were some that actually praised him and called him another Elliot Rodger. And somebody said, it's about time we had another ER. They titled Elliot Rodger that. It's time we had another Elliot Rodger. More things like that need to be done. The more it's done, the happier I feel. And somebody did a big documentary on that. And the guy says, well, you think going around and killing people is okay because they don't give you what you want? Fuck you, is what the guy said in his commentary. And I wholeheartedly agree. You enjoy seeing other people inflict pain when an innocent group of people are killed because that guy couldn't get none? I'd say the same thing. F you too, you know? Yeah. It's crazy. Look up Jake Davidson on YouTube when you get a time, or Elliot Rodger. There's a lot of material out there. I even have the 2020 thing on here. You can go down through and look up The Secret Life of Elliot Rodger. It was a interview that Barbara Walters did with Elliot Rodger's father. And it tells the story about the Isla Vista shooter. And I think part of it is he kind of hated his dad because he did a film called Oh My God. It didn't do so well. He said, if only my failure of a father hadn't wasted so much time and money on that stupid movie. You know, there was a lot of weird things about Elliot's upbringing that I can't really explain. You'd have to watch the documentary in order to get the full picture and scope of how messed up his upbringing was. But he thought he had to have everything handed to him. Again, it's that sense of entitlement and mentality. And somebody else did a video about Elliot. He also delighted in teasing and kind of torturing innocent animals. Like little dogs, he would rile them up and make them want to snap at him. And It's crazy. And a lot of people said that that knew him when he was really little. Elliot would often go over to people's houses and find places to hide. And they said if anybody was going to pull off a shooting, it would be Elliot. And that's a scary assessment. A young kid. And somebody actually got it right. It's somebody who has a failure to engage with people. They don't have the confidence to walk up and say, "Hi, my name is Elliot. Um, you want to do you want to sit down and talk? Can we be friends? I'd like to get to know you." And if it works out, great, you know. But he didn't have that confidence. He thought the world was always against him. But he would always be like a chameleon. He could hide that shit. And he fooled the police. He fooled his parents. He fooled his stepmother. And because of that, people got killed and people got hurt because of that. And he hit somebody and he went through Elliot's windshield and they towed the car away the next day after that happened. And somebody was watching all that go down and filmed it. And somebody said on my old channel before my channel was shut down, due to copyright, I shut it down because of that. But I said, that's crazy. And he says, the guy who uploaded the video said, what's crazier is that people were still partying as it was going on and after it happened. So, yeah, a lot of people that have a mental defect or how they see the world, they don't see what they're doing wrong. And I hate to think it, Elliot Rodger was a psychopath. I think Donald Trump is definitely a psychopath. He likes people like Adolf Hitler, too. I heard he has a book about Adolf Hitler beside his bed. So, yeah. And I think he thinks that Hannibal Lecter is a real person. He talks about him like he's like the nicest neighbor down the street, but Hannibal Lecter is a movie character that didn't give a damn about anybody. He used his power and position, even in jail, to intimidate and scare people. And that's what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to bench press his way out of jail. And even if he doesn't go to jail, there are people outside that want to get a hold of him, and not in a good way. And I think he's gotten his dose of reality tonight. And that's where I think I'm going to end the video tonight. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. Do you think Trump will survive if he doesn't get reelected? Do you think he'll survive on the outside? Let me know what you all think. Put it in the comment section below. I'm not a fan of the guy, but maybe it'll put a dose of I better be a better person. Maybe I'll be a better person. Maybe I'll treat my wife better. Maybe I'll be there more for my son. Maybe I'll be there and do better things. Maybe being an asshole isn't such a good thing. A lot of people have had their lives changed when they get shot or they get some type of illness. They change their lives for the better and they never look back. But I don't know about Trump. He has what I consider, it's like a cancer, like I said. He's in this mentality. If he's had that bad of a mentality his whole life where he treats people like crap, he doesn't pay his people that he works for. If he uses and abuses the people around him, they're not going to like him too much. Yeah, you take care of yourself. I'm gonna try and get to bed here by at least 8:30. So yeah, I try to keep on a good sleep schedule. Sometimes I go to bed as early as 7 o'clock. It's crazy, but yeah, if I'm up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I go to bed at 7 o'clock at night. It's good to keep my health and at a constant balance, and it seems to work. I used to be able to stay up at all hours, but not now. I can't do it. It's just too hard. But take care of yourself, Cartoons Rock, and I'll check in on you every once in a while and maybe drop you a note on Instagram. So, yeah, I'll have to get back over there one day. I need to get back on the ball and work on my Sesame channel, whether it's on another website or not. I just haven't had the drive to really do much. Just trying to get my act together. Oh, I also got the first New Kids on the Block album from 1986 on vinyl, and it sounds great. I'll have to talk about that here later this week. But for now, everybody, take it easy. Um, keep thinking about Shelley Duvall and any other actor that you've liked that have recently passed. Um, I think it's sad that people like Shelley Duvall didn't really get the help they needed, and you know, she's gone now at 75. Richard Simmons has passed away, so who knows what happened with him. And the young kid from Alf has also passed away. I think he unalived himself. They found him with his service dog, so yeah, sad times. But again, Donald Trump got a daily dose. He got a real dose of reality today. Nobody's immune to gun violence. He learned that firsthand. Gabrielle Giffords also got shot through the head years ago, remember? Don't forget. Find her book, read it, listen to it. I don't care. You know, nobody is immune to gun violence. And Trump, you learned that lesson tonight, didn't you? All right, gang, I'm gone. I'll talk to you in a few days. Bye.